Fruitcake can be moist and delicious. This recipe is definitely not doorstop-like or an object of revenge for past offenses. Really. I'm Marcy McDonald with Pacific Northwest Suburban Homesteading, and today my dad will be sharing the family recipe that he has carefully been tinkering with to reach true edibility.
This is kind of a copy of my mother's recipe that I don't have. So I copied it off of another recipe that I saw that was like what I remember when she made it, the things that she used and things she put in her fruitcake. So, and some of this is the things that I like. It took me about 5 or 6 years to perfect it to where it would come out the same every time. Original recipe that I had, I found in the Oregonian in a food section where they were making fruitcakes, and they had all different types of recipes in there, and I ran across a recipe that was real similar to the way my mother made it. So I kind of remember from when my youth is the way she made it because I watched her do it, plus I could sample the things that she was making them. So I came up with this, and it took me several years to get it to where it was edible, for one, and not a brick you want to prop a door open with. It seems like it's not for everybody. Not everybody likes fruitcake. We're on across a lot of people that like mine, though. Here it is. This is broaden.
Drainless juice. Let's see.
My sister got a kick out of it because Mom put whiskey in it. Things that I put in it are, most of it's all natural things. The ingredients that goes into it, some of the things I've made myself just for fillers. The ingredients that goes in it is, one is chopped apricots, the filler, and coarsely chopped walnuts, and just white raisins, and whole filberts, which add a lot of texture and the looks to it when it's cut. Commercially available stuff is candied citrus rind, maraschino type candied cherries, and the rest of it is common cinnamon, honey, baking powder, and the liqueur is like a triple sec for flavoring. It's an orange triple sec. I try to use pretty much the best products I can find. But I'm going to go ahead and start putting this together, and I've pre-measured everything. Every measurement that I have that's on the recipe is a flat measurement. If somebody likes something a little better than other things or whatever, don't try to change it because it'll ruin it. And I'm going to just start mixing. By the time all the fruits are together, it's kind of surprising what fruitcake is really fruitcake, because that's basically what's in this. And the amount of flour that goes into it, not very much. But I'll start dumping things together. And then candied fruit. Just citrus rind is what it is. And there's 2.5 cups. And the apricot chopped up is approximately a cup, or a measured cup. And there's chopped walnuts, another cup. And the white raisins, half a cup. And the whole filberts, half a cup. And the candied cherries, 2 cups. And I like candied cherries, so pretty much every piece of the fruitcake has got a cherry in it. And then there's it's a tropical medley. I used to be able to buy this in bulk, and I cannot find it anywhere. So I copied everything that I could remember that was in it. It's got quite a few in this, pretty much all natural. And when I make this, I make a large quantity, so I don't have to make it every year, and I freeze what's left. and this is a cup. And this recipe makes about 6 cups. There's 1 cup of papaya chopped up, and 1 cup of dried pineapple, and 1 cup of mango. And looks kind of nice. And it's all dried and chopped up. And then I use 1 cup of shaved coconut. Regular shredded coconut can be used, but I like the shape shaved because of the way it looks in the fruitcake. You can see the flakes in it. There's a 1/4 cup of pumpkin seeds in it, a 1/4 cup of sunflower seeds in it, and a 1/4 cup of dark raisins, and a 1/4 cup of walnuts, and that's what goes into the middle. The amount of fruit and nuts. You want to see a close-up of how much fruit goes into two fruitcake loaves. This is it. I mean, it's heavy. There's a lot in it.
As I edited this video, I realized how much I'm like my dad when baking. We both have to follow a written recipe to make sure we get everything. I'm not a linear thinker, so I do a lot of circling back to make sure I get everything. It's neat to see my dad do the same.
Now would be the time probably to put this in since I sat aside and didn't see it. And a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Goes into the dry mixture. Then the flour that goes into the cake is 2 1/4 cups of flour. And if there's too much flour, it doesn't work. And if there's not enough flour, it doesn't work. So the correct measurement is really important. So this is the dry mixture, and then this is going to be the liquid mix. Use a cup of butter, and then we're mixing the liquid measure together, the liquid ingredients. It's 3/4 cup of orange juice.
It is of note that Dad is measuring his orange juice, a liquid, using a dry measuring cup. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this. Dry and liquid measuring devices measure the same volume. The difference between the two is that each is designed to help you get an accurate measure of your ingredient. When measuring a liquid, you line up the ingredient with the meniscus, the fancy word for the curve of liquid caused by surface tension. I'll get into that scientific principle another time. Anyway, to get the most accurate measure, you need to be able to see that line and have room in the measuring cup for that slight curve. Plus, having a spout and bit of room above the highest amount marked makes it easier for you to actually get all of the liquid into the bowl. If you have seen my earlier videos, you've seen me spill a time or two. A dry measuring cup is designed for you to scoop up your flour, etc., and then level it off with a knife or other flat object. You fill the measuring cup all the way to the top. This is that flat measure that my dad keeps talking about. In this case, Dad always measures his orange juice this way, therefore he makes it a consistent way with which to produce consistent results.
2 tablespoons of triple sec, and it's orange triple sec. Okay. And what I mean by flat measurements on these things is flat. Measure them off so that much goes in. 1/4 teaspoon of mace. Quarter teaspoon of nutmeg. Then the brown sugar, and there's 1/4 cup of honey, take all day to do that. It's still coming out. Could have had a fuller container. What a mess. I think I'm going to redo this a little over the sink. So much for the mess. Okay, we just blend the mixture together. Butter could have been a little softer, but it still mixes well. I wash my hands. The pans are like 4.5 inches by 8.5 inches. I use just spray non-stick cooking spray on it. And I do that just for the main reason so the parchment paper sticks in there, plus it leaves a oil residue, because these things will stick to the pans. Pre-cut the parchment paper. Anybody can do it however they want to do it, put it in one piece, or this is just the way I do it. One time I didn't use parchment paper. You couldn't get the fruitcake out of the pan without breaking it up. It's thick, almost like cookie dough would be. Squeeze it into all the corners because the cherries are kind of large and they want to leave places where there's air in it. It's important to keep pressing down on it, get rid of any air bubbles that can occur in it. At this point, it's ready for the oven. And set the oven for 300 degrees for an hour and 45 minutes. And then you check it for sticking on a toothpick after that. If any of it hangs up on a toothpick, then you put it in for probably about another 10-15 minutes. So this is what it looks like in the pans. Yeah, I need to. Come out clean. Sticky. Yeah. Shut this off. See how nice all that dropped out? Parchment paper. Okay, aluminum foil, approximately 30 inches. And I use plastic wrap. And I use a polishing cloth, the type of material that's kind of a moisture absorbing. You use this to hold the liquid onto the cake while it marinates into the fruitcake. It's wrapped up so tight that the liquid will saturate the cake over the 2-week period that it's in the refrigerator. Then we start with the fruitcake. Usually I start with the right side up to start with. So we have the foil down, the plastic down, the cloth down, and the fruitcake's in there. Okay, the marinade is made out of maraschino cherry juice or syrup, and grenadine can be used if you can't find this. Takes a quarter of a cup. I'll put my glasses on because the lines are red. It's kind of hard to see the lines of this. Good. So it's a quarter cup of the maraschino cherry syrup. then it's a quarter of a cup of orange triple sec liquor. Slowly pour it over that because it wants to run off into the cloth, which is just fine. Just gonna measure so I know I got to have enough for the other one too. Might as well get it all. Measuring this off is a pretty good idea. Then comes the plastic wrap. All the liquid is trapped inside the plastic with the cake. I like leaving them a little extra foil out. It just makes it easier to get the package paper. And I date it as when I wrapped it.
One ingredient did not make it into this batch of fruitcake: the eggs. Having your daughter follow you around with a camera can throw anyone off their game. As it turns out though, eggs are completely optional. Normally eggs are important for binding everything together and providing important moisture. We were concerned that this batch would be dry and crumbly. Dad told me that he thinks he likes it even better without the eggs. With the amount of fruit involved plus the marinade involved, the moisture levels are just fine. We still ended up with a truly enjoyable fruitcake. Thanks for coming along on our journey to share our family recipe. I recorded this last fall, saving it for now so that you can make it for your own holiday celebrations. I hope you enjoyed as much as we do. Please like and subscribe, comment if you'd like to see more recipes like this featured on the channel. Until next time, be curious, keep an open mind, and never stop learning.